But yeah, we didn't have anything back in those days. No, the boots, no clothing. And, when that stuff came around, I get a kick out of the kids right now saying, oh man, my knees are wet. It's like I was wet knees for all my life. So.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing and the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your fearless host, Angie Scott.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Woman Angler and Adventurer. I'm stoked to be launching a new series on women in ice fishing that I'm calling Breaking the Ice. And I had the opportunity to write a feature article for Trailer Life magazine on women in ice fishing, which was called Breaking the Ice. So I reached out to some amazing women ice anglers to interview for the article, and I'm going to be featuring those interviews with you in this series. The article should be released on the Trailer Life website within the next week or so I'll let you know when that comes out. And I found out December is actually the last issue of the magazine, which has been in publication for 79 years. They're merging with Motorhome Magazine to become RV Magazine, which makes sense to me. Huge thanks to Patty Mercier and Kathy Roberts for the connection. I really, really appreciate it. It was so cool talking to Debbie. She was on the U.S. team that finished second in the World Championships for ice fishing back in 1992, and that's just one of her many achievements in the sport. I know you're going to really enjoy hearing her story and advice, so here we go. So, I'm going to be honest. So I'm from Minnesota. I moved to Tennessee. So I'm actually in Nashville, and I've been here for 20 years. So it's been a while since I've been up in Minnesota, and I didn't get a chance to do a whole lot of ice fishing when I lived there. It just wasn't something that my dad took us out a couple of times, and it was the old, sit on a bucket out in the middle of the lake and not catch anything all day. It was pretty much,
I hear a lot of those stories.
Yeah. And we had the hand auger, we didn't have the power drill or anything like that. So we weren't running around the lake drilling all these holes. And, I just didn't get it. I was like, I don't know. So now that I've been doing this podcast, I've had a lot more experience in the last few years, of course, traveling up north to Minnesota, Wisconsin, and doing more ice fishing. And it's been much more enjoyable because I've been fortunate enough to be in like either hard shacks or ice hubs, and it's just much more enjoyable now than it was.
Oh, so you got the easy way out.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm cheating my way into ice fishing.
Hey, that's as long as it gets you out there,
yeah,
that's the key.
Yep. So are you born and raised in Illinois?
Yep, born and raised in Illinois. I think we've been ice fishing for 47 years.
Wow.
I didn't start out when I was real young. I started off, my father had a heart attack. Nobody wanted to go with him, so I was forced to go ice fishing with him. But his theory was if we weren't catching fish, we had to move.
Okay.
And moving was not fun in those days.
Right.
Because you had we had nothing. You just walked out, like you say, the hand drills. You had to drill your own holes, and then you just got down there. Oh, got to move till we catch fish. And that's how Dad was. And then that was just reinforced in my little brain. So, and then, so he's actually the one that taught me. We went from the bobber to the spring, and then just worked our way through that. I got married. The husband doesn't ice fish at all.
Really?
He thinks I'm a little goofy. So yeah, one time we went with him. I said, "Hon, we're not catching fish. We got to move." He goes, Deb, there's the auger, there's the door. You can move wherever you want.
Man. Did you have flashers back then or anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Nope.
Wow.
No flashers. Nope. It was like start on the bottom and work your way up, the hard way. No flashers, no cameras back in there. And then we were blessed that the power augers came along, and that made my life a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
And I'm the one, we do competitive fishing with the North American Ice Fishing Circuit. And me and my partner, we've been, partners since 2002. And I've been the one drilling the holes, and he searches with the camera because he's a little more impatient than me. So that's how we work that. But yeah, we didn't have anything back in those days. No, the boots, no clothing. And, when that stuff came around, I get a kick out of the kids right now saying, oh man, my knees are wet. It's like I was wet knees for all my life.
Yeah.
So the new clothing came around, Dave Genz was a big part of everything that's going on in the ice fishing circuit right now. We're blessed that Dave came around. Otherwise, we might have it, but Dave was the first one to say, hey, if we use a rain jacket, we can stay drier. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So did you do the bread bags in between the socks?
Nope. No. Wool socks. Okay. Actually, I got wool socks. I had hockey socks I would wear. My toes would be, when I came home, my toes would be red as red could be. my knees were red because you kneeled, to stay out of the wind. And then, but yeah, it was punishing. It was really punishing.
So what kept you doing it?
I'm a little, to be competitive, say, hey, if I can catch one more fish, I'm okay.
Yeah,
and then when all this stuff came around, made my life easier.
Right.
Saying, hey, I can drill more holes. I got that gas auger, man. Now I can go out searching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I got these boots that I can stay out there longer, And to this day, I still doesn't like to use that shanty. I'd rather sit on a bucket and fish that way. Because you move more, I think.
Right.
If you're in that shanty, I go, man, I'm too comfortable in here. I don't want to move. But if you're on a bucket, as my partner would say, Dad, what are we going to do today? Are we going to sit on a bucket to fish? Or Bob, what do you think? Yeah, we're going to sit on a bucket.
Funny. So what was the transition like for you when you first got into fishing actual tournaments? I mean, because there's not a lot of women that were fishing ice fishing tournaments at that time.
No, I read an article back in the early 90s. They had this ice fishing tournament to fish for the U.S. team. I said, I could probably do that. And at that time, it was a competition, no augers, no electronics, or no gas augers, no electronics, and just your rod, one rod, and you go out there for 4 hours and catch as many fish as you can.
Wow.
And no shanties, and that's how I got it. And then I think the first time I went out, I caught only 4 pounds. I was mad because I knew I could do better. And then each week, I improved. And then I improved good enough they had this one gentleman out here they came in with a ringer that used electronics. Mm-hmm. And I think I still beat him with no electronics. I think I fished that time for 19 pounds and 4 ounces, where he came in with 17 pounds with a locator.
Wow.
So it was just, the moving part that got me. And then it's the competitiveness, because I was competitive I think ever since probably I've been born. I played softball and all this stuff. And just that competitive saying, I know I can do this. Mm-hmm. So that's how that came. And I was blessed to make the U.S. team 3 times. Wow. First time we went to Finland, we got a bronze medal. Actually, in my section, they actually cut you off in sections like A, B, C, D. In my section, I came in 3rd. So I got the team to get a bronze medal in Finland. Sweden, we finished 4th. In Canada, we finished with a silver medal. Nice. In Canada. So, and then Dave Genz started up the ice team, and he had competitions called the fish traps. And then I started doing those.
Is that how you got connected with Dave?
Yeah, actually, I got connected with Dave back in 92. He fished on the U.S. team with me in 92
cool.
in Canada.
Okay.
That's how I first met him. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Awesome. Yep. So you probably inspired a lot of women over the years to give competitive ice fishing a try, I'm guessing. Have you had any like direct connections with any other ladies that have gotten into it? Just kind of you leading the way?
Not really. Most of, like where I come from, there's hardly any women that ice fish. That back in the day, it was all men. I'd be the only woman out there on the ice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would take guys out, and they would catch fish. And it was so funny. One time I went out, I'm testing this auger for Strike Master. I'm banging holes, and there's a group of guys come in and going, could you put in a couple holes for me? Could you be back here next week? It's like, no.
I mean, you must have had to been in pretty good shape to do that.
No, I'm short and stubby. Yeah, I'm not in no kind of shape. So, and then they made the augers lighter. Back in the day, they were what? I think my auger, I went with a 6-inch blade, so my auger was 25 pounds.
Wow.
And now they got the Blessing, they got their drill plate, and now it's only 15 pounds, so we can punch more holes without being tired.
Yep.
So that's the big challenge right there, is that cordless drill with the auger setup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that made everybody's life easier. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like being the only woman out there fishing with all these guys? I mean, did you ever have any kind of issues, or is everybody pretty supportive?
Oh, I've had issues with a couple guys saying, I cheated, or, it's like, come out and watch me.
Right.
This one Mike Jackson tournament I went in, it was a 2-day event. It was a striper event. And in that 2-day event, I caught 60 pounds of fish in that 2-day event.
Wow.
And then the next year I entered the thing. The first day I had 50 pounds of fish. Well, my goal was 100. And I came in with 98 pounds of fish, and I was ticked. He goes, "Why are you mad? You just won." It's like, I wanted 100 pounds of fish.
Yeah, you're that close, right?
Yeah. And, some guys giving me trouble. It's like, how many times did you move?
Right.
Oh, we only sat in the hole. We went one hole. It's like, well, I was around the whole lake. You just get on the bite. When that bite shuts down, you just move. Hope you can find another pot of fish those out, and move, and just keep moving,
So other than the competitiveness of it, what else draws you to the sport?
Well, first of all, I get boat sick.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, this is my time. This is like, I can walk on water this time. So,
yeah. But
yeah, I get boat sick, and then I can't do very much but fish from shore during the summertime. So this is my way out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the cold weather. I mean, you can hear and breathe better. You can hear the sounds and just nature better, just, sitting back and taking everything in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what would you say to other women that, this is a question I asked somebody else, but like some women are kind of intrigued by the idea of ice fishing, and some just have a fear of it. I mean, even to just walking out on the ice, let alone taking a vehicle out on the ice. What would you say to, someone like that?
I would say, always have that fear, because no ice is safe ice.
Mm-hmm.
There's no safe ice out there. And you just, like the first part when it comes on, you just got to spud your way out. Just because I'm sitting on 6 inches of ice here, you might be on 2, considering what's under the ice, or, the way it forms. because there's things under the ice that doesn't make ice form the same all over.
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful. Never go alone.
Mm-hmm.
Go with friends, and always have your safety things on. A throw rope, ice picks, cleats, and just be careful. And just tell somebody where you're going, and work your way out and enjoy. I mean, it is scary out there because you just, especially when it's clear ice, I wonder if it's thick enough. but yeah, and that's what even men have the same fear,
Mm-hmm.
But if you say there's no safe ice, then hey, if I'm going out there, I have to be pay attention, because actually one time we were out there, we were on rotten ice, which was not good. We were fishing. The guy next to us came out, dug a hole right next to us, put down his auger, and went right through because it was rotten ice. So it was 12 inches of ice, but it was rotten ice. So it still wasn't good ice.
Mm-hmm.
So you just gotta be very, very careful.
Have you had any experiences going through?
First time I went out, I got my leg caught in a 10-inch hole. My foot went right through, so now I'm wet from the 1 foot all the way up to the crotch, and we had to walk to the car, so that leg was frozen. By the time I got to the car. But that's knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Any other words of advice for anybody out there wanting to try ice fishing?
Like I say, just get out and enjoy. Go with somebody that's experienced, and have fun. If you have to go get a guide, that's probably the best thing. Like you said, you fish a lot in a portable shanty. Get a guide. He can take you out there to a portable shanty. You guys can sit in the shanty, have a good time, and then if you want to explore on your own, then you can do that in a later time. But go with somebody with equipment first.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken a lot of people out just for, a short day, saying, I got the equipment, just, get yourself out there and I'll provide everything. And they seem to have a good time, even if they haven't fished.
Yeah.
But it's just the chance to get out there, enjoy. And don't go when it's -6. Go when it's 30.
Yeah.
And if the ice is good enough, go when it's 40, when it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get cold, you go home. Especially when your feet start to go, that's not fun. So just get out of there and enjoy it. Don't sit there and freeze, because you'll never enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, my first big ice fishing experience was a couple years ago on Lake Superior, and it was 20 below. Thankfully, I had good gear, and so it wasn't terrible, but my toes were definitely pretty darn cold. Even though I had boots on and I had the little heat packs in my boots and stuff, it was still kind of rough. So that's really good advice.
Yeah, and then, for clothing, I try to tell the people, if they're looking for boots, buy them one size bigger. You don't want tight boots, because that's where your circulation kind of gets cut off. Because I always wear a liner sock and a wool sock. That's all I wear. But buy your boots a little bit bigger, for you can move your toes, keep your toes moving, protect your neck, because we lose our body heat through our neck, through our heads, and the back of our hands. So if you wear a gaiter and a hat and some gloves, that would help you keep the body heat in too.
Awesome. Well, great advice, and it was an honor talking to you. What other than the international stuff that you've done? I mean, you've won all sorts of tournaments over the years, right?
Yeah, the one I'm proud of is I got a gold ring from the USA. I'm a champion from the USA. That's my best goal, because I beat the guys.
Yeah.
So
what year was that?
That was 91.
Okay.
And then I got to carry the flag in Canada in 92 for the team.
Oh, awesome.
I got to carry the U.S. flag for the team down in the parade deal in the U.S. championship, or the World Championships.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, it was an honor talking to you, and I'm so glad that we were able to connect. And I look forward to sharing this and writing the article. So I'll keep you posted on it, and And yeah, just thank you once again. I appreciate it.
And thank you and tell Dave thank you for sending me,
I will, for sure. I will.
Dave's a great guy.
He is. I got to meet him at the St. Paul Ice Show this past the past one. We've interviewed Patsy and all the daughters on our show, which is really cool to have that as a record, of their story.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Patsy was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
She was a sweetheart. And Kathy and Missy, the whole family's great. I mean,
yeah, they're great.
Dave's so humble for what he's done for us. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how humble that man is.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's so kind of funny. The guys at work will go, Dave Genz? He made breakfast for you? I've known Dave for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very down to earth, considering everything that he's done in the industry.
Yep. He's very humble. Yep. And like I said, the whole family. Mm-hmm. The whole family was great. I mean, and my heart was broken when Patsy, passed, but, things went on but yeah, the whole family were great. Yep. And Kathy goes, Dad, I've never, right? Dad would go, okay, come with me, fish are biting. Okay, put your rod. It's like, I've never hit, it's like, wow. Yeah, I've never had that chance.
She doesn't, I know, she doesn't know what it's like to sit there and not get a bite.
Not catch.
Yeah. She only knows fishing or catching, not fishing.
You got it. And my mother will go, well, look what Kathy caught. It's like, well, if I had somebody put me on fish all the time, I could do that too. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a different story there.
Yeah, but they're great. Got to hang out with Kathy on Lake Minnetonka this past January, I think it was. So that was fun. But all right, well, thank you once again, and I hope you have a great day, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you like what you hear and you haven't done so already, please leave a rating and review on whichever podcast platform you like to listen on. Really helps the show. And stay tuned next week for the second episode in the series Breaking the Ice, featuring another amazing female ice angler. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.